Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back down under the mat. We are here in Madison Square Garage around the pool table of relevancy. This is Mr. Dan Danielson. I'm Roddy Reece. We're here to talk about all things professional wrestling, specifically today, all things women's wrestling, because we just got done watching WWE Evolution 2 Electric Boogaloo. And boy, oh boy.
It's never not funny.
It's never not funny. It's never not funny. Boy, oh boy, was this actually an amazing show.
Yeah, look, I think in general, it probably over-delivered for me in terms of the quality of the show.
Over-delivered?
I think that maybe between like the Evolution pay-per-view and like a Beyonce concert, I reckon it was pretty close. But I think that it was quite a good show. I mean,
some guy in the crowd had a sign up that said, "I got lost on the way to the Beyonce concert." Love it.
There's a couple of things that I sort of noted at the start of the show that kind of took me out of some early things, but then I kind of just got back in wrestling. So obviously we need to talk about the ticket sales. They just had about 65% tickets, give or take.
Yeah. When you watch the stream, if you haven't yet, don't look up into the rafters. That's a good place to start, because I think capacity set up for that was, I think, like 6,500, 7,000. And
it's like 4,000 tickets.
Yeah, a few days out. Last count I saw was 4,800.
But I mean, you've had SmackDown, you've had Saturday Night's Main Event, you've then got Evolution, then you've got Raw tomorrow. It's a lot of wrestling in the one area. I don't know if Raw's there. Raw might be somewhere else. But regardless,
they'll be down the road somewhere.
That's a lot of wrestling for them. Plus, you've obviously had All In. The
So
one
much
thing
wrestling.
that I sort of was thinking when seeing that the top was topped off and stuff was like, this was a chance for them to go put a big screen again for their pay-per-view layouts. Because we talked about how cool it looked at Saudi when they had the massive screen in the Saudi shows.
And even really All In went absolutely bonkers with their stage setup.
And this had a bunch of people behind the screens, where you were sort of
It's been their trope lately.
But move them somewhere else, put a big screen instead, so you have more people behind the announcers, I guess. I'm absolutely totally nitpicking the production of this.
Absolutely nitpicking.
The other thing I want to nitpick on the production was, and I don't know if it's just me, let me know in the comments if I'm just over-analysing all this, but it felt like early on in the show, some of the crowd was piped in, and it was piped in very female. A lot of the voices I was hearing was women's voices in the crowd, and there were obviously a lot of women there. They did show the crowd around, but also a lot of men there too, and it just seemed like if they were piping the crowd in for parts that I think that they needed to early in the show before it sort of really picked off, it just seemed disproportionate, the sound that it was coming at, and didn't take me out of it at all. But there was definitely parts where I remember distinctly watching in the triple threat Bailey like getting the crowd like, come on, let's go, and it got very loud with women cheering, and then you saw in the first four rows dudes.
Yeah.
And I was like, that doesn't, the sound doesn't match the picture, which, it's TV, it's production, it's what they do. I get it.
Like Dan said, nitpicking.
I'm absolutely nitpicking it because the rest of the in-ring wrestling and the rest of the stuff was fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed the work that all the women put on in this show. And for those that maybe think that women's wrestling, haven't watched women's wrestling in the last few years or paid attention to it, it's not divas anymore. There's no more pillowcase fights.
Long gone.
There's no more bra and panties matches. It's 3 hours or 3 hours and 22 minutes as this pay-per-view was of legitimate women's wrestling, and all of it was very good. Headlined by an absolutely incredible main event.
Absolute slobber knocker. We're going to kick off with that because a bit of a shocking turn of events in the match.
We didn't call it. You ruined our SummerSlam fans, Naomi.
Yes, you absolutely ruined our SummerSlam theory, but in a good way,
But you saved my Rhea not being able to beat
Rhea
Io,
still has not been able to pin Io Sky. Absolutely love it. So
what a mark. I'm doing Io's thing wearing a Rhea shirt. Come at me, bro.
I'm just wearing a pink shirt because I'm here for the
salmon,
ladies.
man. It's nice.
It is. It's got pockets. Is this how the women feel when their dresses have pockets?
Yeah.
I have a jumper that has pockets. It's great. And it's not a hoodie. Excellent. Anyway, moving back onto the match. Rhea and Io Sky. I don't even know where to begin with this match because
The amount of times that they said that Rhea has never pinned Io.
And I said to you, leading up to this, Rhea was on the pre-show of the first Evolution and she's now main eventing for the World Championship. And you were so set, Io Sky has to keep that streak alive. She has to keep beating Rhea.
And she did.
She did. But, and especially with the pre-match vignette that they aired, that was just hammering home Rhea finally conquering that streak.
And Rhea was back for my world title. Rhea's world title.
Even when she was doing the Liv Morgan thing last year, it was always her world title because she was the inaugural holder of that championship. So we all just associate it. But
yeah, we do, sure.
The match, to start with, it was just two people that know each other really well, playing around in the ring, playing mind games on each other.
A lot of these.
Both of them doing this, absolutely loved it, but
it was one of those kind of matches where you kind of see it in wrestling where they're two talented wrestlers. There's a feud going in, but no hatred going in.
Yeah.
And you're like, why are you usually going to punch yourself in the face? You're not really going to.
Well, yeah, they actually made a very strong point of that during the match before things started to heat up. And they're like, look, Io, I respect you. And she's like, I respect you too. And they're like, let's just do this. And then they just started laying into each other.
And you could tell that they'd obviously known each other really well because they did lots of reversals early on.
Yeah.
There was cartwheel spots. There was, a whole bunch of reversals and moves and things. And then even getting into it, like you and I were both saying, we're like 20 minutes into the match or whatever, and they weren't hitting finishes yet.
No.
And they were going for solid pins and stuff. And Rhea did one off the Razor's Edge and Io did one off... what did she? Because she didn't hit the moonsault till right near the end.
Yeah.
But like they were both hitting big moves and going for covers, and you're like 1-2 kick out. Oh, that's crazy. But Rhea was starting to get frustrated, and we're like, we haven't even tried the Riptide yet. Like we're still got some juice in this match to go. What's going to happen next? Oh, the referee's going to get drop kicked.
Yeah.
And here we go.
Jessica Carr gets taken out, and then they start brawling outside of the ring. They go into the crowd. We have Rhea try and put Io Sky, I was about to say Liv Morgan, through a table. Io Sky knocks Rhea out of the way, climbs up on some blocks, conveniently set up.
Conveniently placed.
Conveniently set up with the table sitting there, and does a massive crossbody off the top. Absolutely love to see that. They start working their way back towards the ring. Jessica Carr's getting back up. Io Sky hits the not pretty moon. What do they call her?
Over
moonsault?
the moonsault.
Over the moonsault. That's right.
I mean, before that too, there was all the moves on the apron as well, where they were hitting. She hit the Meteora off the apron onto the outside. She powerbombed Rhea flat onto the ground.
Oh yeah,
Rhea shoved.
There were so many good spots in this match. This one of the best women's matches I've seen in a fair while.
It was, and yeah, you got to the point where they got it in the ring. Io hits the over the moonsault.
Kick out.
Kicks out.
Did not expect a flat kick out. I thought that was it. I was like, yep, there we go.
And then Rhea like hits her head against the edge of the turnbuckle because she goes for it a second time. Smiles to the camera and Rhea's like, here it is. This is the top rope.
My spot, I was like, she's got to hit a super Riptide 1-2 kick out. And then she's going to absolutely lose it. And that's going to lead to her costing herself the match.
And it was a really good theory. It really was.
And something even better happened.
But then they get to the top, and I'm like, oh, she's not setting up a Riptide.
And then they both stood up, and I was like, holy shit, Spanish Fly. Boom, and then they're both just out. And they held that camera shot, and I was like, they were just holding it a little bit too long. Nothing was happening. Jessica Carr was just standing in the middle of them, and I was like, what's happening? And in my head, I did not vocalize it, but in my head, I was like, Naomi?
It was when they shifted the camera shot from side angle to get the entrance
ramp. Boom, immediately hit. Mere seconds after I thought, Naomi? And then Naomi comes out, officially cashes in her contract, smashes Io Sky in the head with the briefcase, throws Rhea into the ring post. She's out of the ring, hits the split-legged moonsault onto Io Sky. 1, 2, 3.
Did not see this coming.
This was not even on my radar this weekend. I had no idea. We had the theory. Naomi cashes in after Jade beats Tiffany Stratton at SummerSlam. That made so much sense. Almost too much sense. And that's why this cash-in was amazing. Unexpected. I absolutely loved it because we all thought it made more sense for Naomi to go for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
But then you look at the logic behind what happened tonight, right? She had a no holds bar match, whatever
Yeah.
it was with Jade. Jade beat
Absolutely
her.
brutal match.
Jaded her through a table, 1, 2, 3. She beat her. Maybe that's
Yeah.
the point where Naomi goes, you know what? I don't want to wrestle Jade anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to get away from her and Bianca. How can I do that? I can go to Raw. I'll get their world title. Wow. And I hope that's what her promo is on Monday. I hope she comes out and says that, not being chicken shit heel too much, but
I'm done dealing
with Jade. She's not even worth my time anymore. I don't want to deal with
After
it.
losing to her twice.
Doesn't matter. I don't want to deal with it. I'm the women's champion now. So, look, this is fantastic. Like, absolute props to Naomi. Obviously, since she came back from TNA a couple of years ago in the Rumble, like, she's reinvented her character. You hated the glow because it just kept going on and on and on.
On and on. She was running with that gimmick for about 10 years. And thank God she had that character change earlier this year because it has paid off.
It's absolutely worked. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Proceed with Caution. It's
Proceed with caution.
It's a little over the top. But the unhinged side of Naomi, the laughing, the heel character that she does.
Social media antics as well. She might dethrone Drew for social media star of the year at the Slam.
Some of the stuff she tweets about Big Jim and what he gets is great. Big fan of that. But look, I'm genuinely shocked that she cashed in on this title. I did not see it happening. I am very glad that Rhea and Io's story is still there. Because that's a WrestleMania story, man. Like, it absolutely is. In a couple of years' time, whatever it will be, Io versus
still be there.
Rhea.
And then it finally happens.
Yep, that's when it will be. And I'm glad they've kept that story up their sleeve. And I think on our pod earlier in the week, I was saying, how can you get around this match without a dodgy finish? Naomi cashed in. Thank you. I didn't think of it. Thanks, Papa
So
H.
good. Absolutely amazing. We touched on the Naomi and Jade no holds barred match. Do we want to quickly
let's go
pivot back to that?
It makes sense.
Whipping out chains, kendo sticks, trash cans, and chairs really early in the match, absolutely brutalizing each other, wrapping the chain around fist, beating Naomi with it. Table spots came out early, and fuck you to the crowd for one, chanting we want tables as she's literally setting up a table. Can you guys get any more depressing? Like,
I think the other problem that we had with this match, and specifically you was the fact that earlier in the weekend you had the Ricky Saints versus Ethan Page Falls Count Anywhere match in NXT Great American Bash, which was also superb. Also had some really brutal chair spots and table spots and things in it. That was really well done. But more importantly, you had the main event of All In, which was the Texas Death Match, which had forks and blood and chains and beds of nails.
Trying to follow that.
And that was kind of my issue here was like, not that they tried to do those things.
No.
But the second that you start going under the ring and you bring out a trash can, you're like...
I was like, where's the glass? Where's the forks?
Yeah.
Where's the
Even
bed of nails?
was like, where's the thumbtacks? And I was like, they're not doing this.
Nothing.
So that, I guess, kind of was just an unfortunate circumstance of the weekend in general.
Yes. Right? Exactly that. And that's not saying that this was a bad...
No, it was good.
No holds barred.
I think it was if you could watch this in a vacuum and just not have seen anything else that happened this weekend,
you'd be pretty damn
just
impressed.
watch this match, like, these two went really hard.
Yeah.
Jade went through a table. Naomi went through a table. She nearly took her head off with a toolbox. There was chair spots. There was kendo
Getting
spots.
drop kicked into the TV in front of the announce table and having
That was
sparks
really
fly
cool.
everywhere. Loved it.
Like all of the spots they actually did were really good. It was just unfortunately overshadowed by a much bigger, darker, bloodier death match the night before.
Yeah, absolutely. But as mentioned before, Jade did get the win with the
Which
Jade
she had
through
to,
the table.
because she's going to face Tiffany at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
She had to win.
That played right into our theory of, that writes Naomi off TV for a few weeks.
And
so she cashes in at SummerSlam. But no, she cashed in that same night. I'm so pumped about that. I'm buzzing.
Oh, it was
buzzing.
great.
It's
Absolutely.
amazing. Let's start pivoting back to the start of the show with the Women's Intercontinental Championship Triple Threat match opening after an amazing opening vignette with Katy Perry theme song, just like chronicling the history of women's wrestling throughout the years. I want to call out that dickhead in the crowd, 2 rows in from the aisle, that had the giant Becky Hogan sign right in her face as she's walking down the entrance ramp.
Who won the match?
Despicable. Yes. Who won the match? Becky Lynch did. I'm pretty sure these Becky Hogan calls are extremely unfounded.
Oh, it's the same as the Sasha Hogan ones and the Charlotte Hogan ones. And
The fact that we're getting Rhea Hogan ones.
Yeah, I know.
That's depressing.
They're all pretty bad. Let's move on with the Hogan stuff.
Yeah,
like,
it's just
like
it's pathetic.
it's not a very fun joke. Like that someone comparing someone to Hogan.
Yeah, especially because it's Hulk Hogan.
Correct. Let's just move on from Hulk Hogan. We don't want him in here
Let's
anymore.
just stop mentioning him.
If
Erase him like
can we change
redacted.
Can we change it to Becky Cena? I'll do a Cena one.
I mean, that's kind of like a
like
backhanded compliment.
Super Becky, I'll go
Super
with.
Becky. See, we had Super Cena.
Yeah,
Super Lynch.
Yeah, Super Lynch. There you go.
There we go. Done. Fix the problem,
And then we got rid of
guys.
Hogan, and everyone's happy.
Just don't mention him anymore. Don't mention him anymore. These three ladies are probably one of the better choices to kick off the show.
Absolutely. For the work rate, for sure.
Yeah. And their fluidity throughout this match was amazing. There was a point where I was kind of like, oh, this kind of seems like one of the old day triple threats where someone gets taken out and then they have the singles match for a little bit and then they do the little swap and come back in. But I kind of realized very shortly after I thought about that these ladies were like properly getting taken out of the match. They were having big moves hit on to wipe them out for a couple of minutes.
Yeah. And it wasn't like the old ones where you just grabbed someone and threw them over the ropes. And
then they're just like, oh, I'm so dizzy from falling outside the ring. I'm going to stay outside for 5 minutes. No.
Yeah.
It actually had some really good impact behind them getting taken out.
And I really liked the sequences in this match where they all kind of hit their moves. I loved that Bayley got into Bayley to belly. And that was a near
She does not do that much anymore.
Becky hit a... not the Bexploder, what's the
manhandle slam?
The manhandle slam, nearly got a finish. Lyra hit the Nightwing, nearly got a finish.
They all got interrupted. No one kicked out of those finishes,
and I
which
like
was
that
good to see.
They kind of all went 1, 2, 3, and they all got broken up. Yeah. And then you got to the finish, which was Bayley hitting the worst of the finishes, the Rose Plant.
Oh, it's so bad. Just get rid of it.
On Lyra, and then rather than Becky like pushing her off and saving the pin,
rolls her into a backslide and gets the victory.
1, 2, 3, and then Becky just bails out.
Yeah, I mean, like, we love to shit on surprise roll-ups to finish matches, but I feel like that's probably one of the better ones that I've seen.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Because it's someone who's in the middle of a pin, not thinking about getting rolled up.
And also,
and then they got rolled up.
Specifically, the way that Bayley had done it. So when she laid Lyra down, she was like on top of her, like Rhea does the sexy pin.
Yeah.
So she was leaning on the top, so she was on her feet, so that when she got rolled over, it's much easier to do it.
It looked amazing.
And I also think that we kind of said that this match kind of just has to run back at SummerSlam. I don't really see anything else happening.
Yeah.
This is how you do it. Becky won from a roll-up. Bayley will say, well, I had the match won and you stopped me. Lyra will say, well, I had a match won just before that and you stopped me.
Yeah.
And they'll just all fight and bicker and then something will happen and we'll go to triple threat again at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with because this was a good match and
a triple threat casket match.
I think they'll do something. I think they'll do maybe not a cage match, but
triple threat casket match doesn't make sense.
No, that's a horrible idea. Actually, now that I've really thought about the sentence that you just said,
I thought about it before I said it, but then I said it anyway.
But I think that they'll do some form of stipulation for the next one,
something.
But I also think that like these three ladies had more in the bank. I think they all put in a lot of stuff, but I feel like they could have done more, and I think that's because there's a second match coming.
Because we are 3 weeks away from SummerSlam.
Yeah,
and like we have on our SummerSlam predictions, go check it out. We've got the video ad on YouTube now. A lot of it is going to be Saturday Night Main Event, apart from Seth, and Evolution
Can we
runbacks.
not bring up Seth, please?
Oh, it's depressing. Very bad updates today from Triple H. Inconclusive results and scans to be further done tomorrow.
So I guess by the time this goes out,
By the time this goes out, we should maybe hear something on Monday Night Raw.
Well, Raw, they've already set a 5-man gauntlet match to see who faces Gunther.
Yes.
And that, to me, will then spell where this goes. Yeah. Because if it's Braun, then maybe we don't have a Money in the Bank. If it's Punk, then maybe we still do.
Because we were speculating in our Discord. I'm going to deviate from Evolution a little bit. We were speculating in our Discord exactly what happens with that Money in the Bank briefcase now. Dan's got a really good theory where Paul Heyman just holds onto it. And when he sees an opportunity to further the vision, he will give the briefcase to Bronson or Braun, more likely Braun Breaker. They will cash in. They will get the championship. And then I had the really dumb but also probably very logical idea that they'll just, if it's that severe, they'll just take the briefcase and then they'll have another Money in the Bank match at SummerSlam.
Which would be fun.
Oh, it'd be great, but it's just depressing, man.
Yeah,
this stuff with Seth was starting to really heat up. So it's going to be shit to see what comes out of that. Because he was backstage, knee brace and crutches at Evolution.
Yeah, to see Becky.
Moving on. I want to quickly touch on all the
Thoughts and prayers, Seth. Thoughts and prayers.
black
Black and gold, Seth.
2012 black and gold Seth Rollins. I want to quickly touch on all the WWE legends that they had at ringside very quickly.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Vicky Guerrero.
Excuse the pop for her.
Yeah.
And then the awkward
pop.
high fives that she was doing to everybody afterwards.
Yeah. Michael Cole prefaced this by saying one of the champions for women's wrestling, Mark Henry, and then we had Ava, the NXT general manager, Jazz, Jacqueline, Reece, Ivory, Tori Wilson, Melina, Molly Holly, Alundra Blaze, Medusa. Yeah, that's it's funny. Michael Cole called her Medusa, but then Alundra Blaze came up. And Leilani Kai, who, to be honest, I didn't know much about until
and then
this
also,
year.
then after that, they showed the notoriously, obviously, very well involved women's wrestling rapper Lil Yachty.
Oh, yeah, they were showing a bunch of rappers for some strange reason. Let's go back to the wrestling, shall we? The NXT Women's Championship, JC Jane versus Jordan Grace, with fatal influence at ringside for JC Jane and Blake Monroe accompanying Jordan Grace. And I think as soon as we saw that happening, me and Dan kind of looked at each other and we were like, something's happening.
Well, I watched on NXT the promo they had together where like Blake Monroe got Jordan to like get her nails done and have a massage and did her hair and tried to like pamper her up. It was awkward, but it was fine. And so she sort of like pampered her up before her match on NXT. And then, you know, she was like, yeah, this isn't so bad. I feel kind of good about it. And Blake's like, great, look at us go. High five, go girls. And then they obviously won at Great American Bash in a tag match.
With Monroe pinning JC Jane.
Correct. But then before this match happened, they showed a backstage thing where Jordan Grace said to Blake, I want you to be out there to support me because she's going to have Fatal Attraction.
I don't want to steal your spotlight. As soon as you say that line, you're just like,
heel turn.
There it is.
Straight away, she's exactly going to steal her spotlight.
Yes.
And the match was fine. It was fine, to be fair.
Yeah. Look, I feel like a 7-card match for this women's pay-per-view. A lot of other matches overshadowed this one.
Oh, completely.
Yeah. But it's not to say that NXT girls did bad, but everyone else just surpassed them a little bit.
It was fine. It was 2.5-star Dave Meltzer rating. It was
Classic Dave Meltzer.
NXT women's wrestling. It was fine. You get to the point where there's a bit of distraction from Fatal Influence. They get the title. Blake Monroe stops them using the title.
And then like the camera stayed on her and she wasn't putting the title down. I was like, here we go.
And she was tapping it to Jordan, being like, you got this. You've got this.
And she did. In the back. Stabbed her in the back with the belt.
Literally in the back. And then JC with the rolling lariat or whatever a finish move is. 1, 2, 3, JC Jane pinned Jordan. And then Blake walked in slowly and handed her the title belt.
Before that happened though, like, Blake Monroe would fit in perfect with Fatal Influence.
She would, absolutely.
Absolutely. But no, just gave JC Jane the title, looked at her, and then just walked away.
I think this is what we needed though. Like for everyone who's watched AEW and watched Mariah May's career there,
she's
not,
heel, dude.
She's not a babyface, man.
She's got to be heel. Like we were all happy to see her in WWE because this is her lifelong dream, but heel is where it's at for her.
And so this was like I said to you, her turning heel on Fatal Attraction or whatever wouldn't make her get booed.
No.
Her turning heel on anyone else, but maybe on Jordan Grace, I think maybe the fans would not appreciate that. So,
and one thing I thought about with this as well, this is going to be a really good way to take Blake Monroe out of that championship picture potentially.
And feud with just Jordan or something.
Yeah, feud with Jordan for a bit. We all know she's going to get that title eventually. But as soon as I heard that she had pinned JC Jane, I was like, shit, they're going to do the title change quicker than suspected.
Yeah.
But this kind of delays the inevitable a little bit, which is probably going to be a really good thing because JC deserves a pretty lengthy reign. She's only had it for, I think, like 39 days now.
Until she gets squashed by Masha Slamovich at TNA.
I don't know, man. I reckon JC wins.
Or on a TNA Slammiversary pay-per-view.
No, we can't do that. We can't have 2 NXT stars having TNA belts, right?
No, because Trick's going to lose back to Joe Hendry, but Masha then beats JC Jane.
Perplexing.
Masha did show up at NXT this week.
She did. We will see what happens. Next tag team, the titles. What sentence was that?
Tag team of the titles.
You know what? I have had an absolutely horrific sleep. last night.
We've also watched...
And we've watched, what, like 12 and a half hours of wrestling over the past 48 hours?
Yeah, 24 hours.
I'm
almost.
done. You can look at my face right now and you can see how done I am. I'm tired.
The best part...
Cut me some slack.
Ladies and gentlemen, the best part about Madison Square Garage as a recording studio is that it's in my house. So,
Yeah, so
I can just go
I'm-
there and go to sleep. He can't.
Yeah, I'm here in my work outfit and I've got to have like a half-hour drive home to then go home to my wife and go immediately into bed.
Yep. And have a nice long sleep.
I hope so, dude. I hope so. Tag team championship
Tag match was
match.
fun, right? Again, let's go to the fun part. Zaria, congratulations to the Aussie girl getting on a PLE.
Loved it.
Considering the fact that 12 months ago we were talking to her in the Metro Theatre for a PWA show.
Mental.
Before she even went to NXT, that was awesome. And to see her now on,
Yeah.
Netflix and on pay-per-view and stuff, amazing. Congratulations, Zaria. Her and Sol were fantastic. They did all the spots you expected them to do. A really cool, obviously power moves from Zaria, Sol Ruka with the Soul Snatcher and stuff like that. It was exactly what we wanted to see. Really good to see Asuka back as a tag team wrestler with the Kabuki Warriors. Like I always knew she should have been because she's a tag team wrestler, Reece.
Yeah, okay.
They were cannon fodder in this match.
Yeah, they really were. I really want to talk about Charlotte and Alexa though, because their dynamic as soon as they came out,
We want Charlotte.
how
We want
positive,
Charlotte.
how positive that crowd was for Charlotte, kind of blew me away. And I think maybe a lot of people have done some research.
Oh,
and,
everyone. Yep.
and read that Players Tribune article.
Tribune, maybe.
Tribune, whatever. It's the same shit. We're Australian. We can pronounce things however we want. Anyway, I think a lot of people have gone and read that article that Charlotte put out, and like it even, I don't want this to sound weird. It touched me.
Charlotte touched you.
Charlotte touched me.
It's a really good article, and I think that
It's made me sympathise with her more.
we've definitely
She
discussed
is a
parts of it
human.
before, and the fact that she comes out and talks about age in wrestling and stuff. And,
Yeah.
Cena's 47 or 48, Punk, AJ, Randy Orton, and no one bats an eyelid at them.
Mm.
Whereas she's going 40 and she's getting too old for it. Like that, I absolutely agree with her. I think that's stupid, and I think we even talked about when you looked at some of these legends in the crowd. Some of them did look old, but then, your Kelly Kellys, your Tori Wilsons, your Nikki Bellas, Mickey James, even Molly Holly, they could probably still go.
Oh, they could absolutely lace
Trish
up a pair of
Stratus.
boots.
We'll talk about Trish Stratus in a couple of matches. Like, she's well into her 40s and she was going really well too. So I think age is just a number. And I think the support that Charlotte is now getting is really good because I think as a fan base, we don't like Charlotte when we're told to like Charlotte. When you jam her down our throat and you say cheer her because she's the queen and she's won all the titles, we're like, no, I don't want to.
That's exactly how everyone turned on Cena back in the day because he
Absolutely.
got shot. That's why people turned on Roman as well.
That's why everyone's turning on Rhea because no, I won't go.
No, it's true. Like, probably a little bit of biasy here. I absolutely love Rhea. I think she is like that. Mummy is always on top. We have not had a women's wrestler be as powerful and dominant as her. Almost ever, to be honest.
Yep.
Apart from like the 70s and the 60s where Mae Young and Fabulous Moolah had the championship for like 8 years. That doesn't count.
Yeah.
Doesn't count.
They defended it less than the Guy did, so it doesn't matter. But
He's
yeah,
not champ anymore.
I think that
That's sad.
now that I think it's also, you can tell, and you and I were talking about this.
That entrance.
The entrance of the two of them, they were laughing and they were having
They
fun.
were playing. And like that immediately I was just like, oh, cool. Like this is enjoyable watching Charlotte.
Yes.
Because like both of them look like they were just genuinely having fun being on screen
And the pop
together.
that Alexa got too. Ooh.
Yeah, always. They're pretty much. Well, let's touch on the retaining champions before we move on.
I was going to say, we have to talk about the people who won the match, right?
Yeah. I was going to just deviate away from everything, but having Judgment Day ladies come out on top in a pretty dominant fashion as well.
Yeah.
That the image of Raquel and the one-armed Tahana bomb to Sol Ruka, that's the sort of power spot you need her to have in every single match.
And I was talking to Reece about this during the week too. I think I saw Kevin Nash come out on a podcast where he criticized Raquel, essentially saying that she doesn't work big, right? And to say that was that she's kind of working down to the wrestlers that she's with. She's working down to Roxanne or to Kyrie or to Io. And she shouldn't be. She should be playing as the bigger person, like what Kevin Nash used to do. you clothesline him once, he doesn't fall. You clothesline him
you
2
do that.
times,
Oh.
he doesn't fall. Like, you've got to work and you've got to act big when you're as big as Raquel is compared to the other women.
You get 3 clothesline and then you're down to a knee.
Yeah.
And then you get back up and then...
And she wasn't doing that previously. This match she did. She
absolutely.
nailed it this match. Because
maybe someone like relayed that information to her in like a respectful way. Like, hey, like we've got to start booking you to look better.
And she powerbombed people and she slammed people and she did big clotheslines to everybody. And the dynamic of her and Roxanne and how big they were and little they were worked really well. The finish spot, obviously, with Zarya spearing Sol Ruka.
Yeah.
With Alexa being pulled out by Charlotte was perfect.
And then like post-match, they had the camera angle on them too, where they were just like sort of like embracing each other and like looking at each other and
like, thank you. But,
yeah. Like,
but then,
crazy.
like you said, the dominant finish, the huge choke slam, Judgment Day winning, this is the correct decision.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Because again, we need to play into that once Liv Morgan returns. Moving on to the, we hung shit on the NXT Women's Championship match, but I think this match was worse.
Which match?
Tiffy versus Trish.
Oh, it was fine.
It was fine. I don't think either of us were overly thrilled with the performance. It was cool having Trish in a match. But yeah, look, you roast me in the comments if you want. I don't give a shit. That match could not hold a candle to the rest of the card.
No,
I'm sorry.
it wasn't as good as the other stuff. And I think this is unfortunate to me for Tiffy and her title run in that she's been in matches like Elimination Chamber was the tag match with Trish against Nia and Candice. She's wrestled the unfortunately poor match with Charlotte at WrestleMania. She's had defenses with Nia and stuff. And it's just she hasn't had a good title run. And I don't think that's because Tiffy is not talented. I think Tiffy is talented. She just hasn't been able to wrestle against someone to bring that out of her.
Yeah.
And Trish, great nostalgic act. I loved seeing her. And I think like listening to her on the post show, she was saying how it was really interesting that when she started wrestling 25 years ago, you know, she was the people's, like the teenage boys, you know, posters on the wall. She was the eye candy they all looked at.
And now we've got posters on our wall and we're 35.
But like now she's coming to the shows and those men are bringing their kids to see her.
That's good.
And like it shows you the generational, you know, pool that the WWE has. And I love Trish for that. I think she is one of those few wrestlers that have bridged the gap between what a diva was in the Divas era and what women's wrestling is now. And it's not that she can't go in the ring. I think the match was totally fine.
Yeah.
But in comparison to the other things you saw on this card, it was just, it was there. It was fine. You got your nostalgia act. Tiffy got to wrestle Trish because she really wanted to have a singles match with her. They both looked fine. 1, 2, 3, prettiest moonsault ever.
The ending sequence was pretty good where you got the chick kick. 1, 2, almost got it. Set up for the Stratisfaction, didn't quite get it. Tiffy went for the moonsault. Trish got the knees up. They went back and forth a bit, and then it was where Tiffy like got properly on top, hit the moonsault properly. 1, 2, 3.
And then the crowd, you know, thank you Trish and stuff afterwards. It was all really nice. Like it was there on Evolution for a reason, and it absolutely knocked out of the park what that was. I just was not overly invested in it. It was fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. Also, the other thing that was fine, we'll talk about the last match that we haven't talked about yet, the Battle Royale.
We have problems with this.
Where were our legends? Like,
Nikki Bella.
that was it. Why? What are we doing?
No, but you know,
But like, before we shit on it some more, I remember talking about this months and months ago when this pay-per-view was first rumored, before it even like been cemented. I was like, this is going to be much better than the last one because the depth that this women's roster has now, we won't have to rely on the legends to fill out that pay-per-view. And we absolutely didn't have to.
Accurate.
We had Nikki Bella, we had Trish Stratus, we had all the legends in the crowd.
It's 6 NXT women.
But then, like, all the teasers from AJ Lee on social media throughout the weeks leading up to this pay-per-view, Paige saying, like, hey, if they called me, I'm there. Mere days before on the CVV podcast, which was a pre-recorded podcast. So absolutely there could have been some phone calls in between that getting filmed.
No Brie Bella, no Michelle McCool.
No, nothing, bro.
That to me was disappointing, was watching, and I think we got to see it because obviously it would have been on Peacock. It seemed like the way that they filmed it on Netflix was The first couple of people came out, and then it kind of cut out for a sec.
Yeah, they must have done some advertisement for movies or something.
And then there was everyone came in, Natalia and
then there was a couple
and
people left.
Michin and BFAB, blah, blah, blah. And then Candice LeRae came in and it started again. I was like, oh, they just put all those women on in the break?
Yeah.
It was fine. Like, it was a good finish to the Battle Royal. The Final Four was good. There were some really nice spots in there.
Final Four was...
Maxine Dupree, please, just stick to being a valet. Like, your stupid worm spot
No one
looks
cares about the
terrible.
Dungeon Dolls, bro.
And then when she got Natalia to do it, that was terrible. And she pulled her straps down. Like, just...
Cringe.
It was pretty bad. I didn't mind the Kalani Jordan, Kofi Kingston Hope spot.
That was really
fine.
good. That was so smooth, the way that she did the handstand over, hooked her feet under the bottom rope, and then just effortlessly sat up.
Yeah. There was good spots this match. The problem, I think, both from Reece and I, was the fact that there was no surprise. There was no Brie Bella. There was no...
We thought we'd at least get one.
There was no Candice Michelle. There was no anything exciting that happened. That was a joke. How many times Michael Cole said Candice Michelle
Oh, yeah.
when he was talking about Candice LeRae? God damn it,
I
Reece,
wiped that out of my
support me,
memory.
please.
No.
Without there being the big surprises and stuff, I guess it never really... to me, it never got the Battle Royal off 50%.
Yeah.
If you had have put one or two other people and I'm like, oh, that's exciting, and then we came up here, it never got there.
Even
Because I
just
was
one legend coming out.
well, when we got to the Final Four, which was Nikki
Bella,
Stephanie-
Nia Jax,
Yep.
Stephanie Vaquer, and Lash Legend.
Lash Legend was the only surprise.
Who Lockie was so on board with winning.
He really wanted Lash.
He
to win.
really wanted that.
But
Lash Legend to
the
win.
other three, I was like, yeah, this makes total sense. Like,
Yeah.
as soon as the 20 people were in the ring and they went ding, 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 and I was like, well, it's Stephanie, Nia, and Nikki, and I don't know who else.
Yeah.
And there was no question in my mind that anyone, I was like, maybe Natalia does it. I actually
Just to
pitched-
roast me.
And I also pitched Chelsea Green because it'd be nice to have Chelsea getting a title shot with Piper and Alba Fire in Europe because it's obviously for Clash at Paris. I was like, yeah, that could be fun. You could tell a fun story with Chelsea, and then she got thrown out.
I don't know if French people like Scottish people.
Do French people like
Anyone?
more Swedish?
French people don't even
Bonjour.
like French people.
Oh, baguette.
Oh, bro. I hope this video makes it in the French market and we just get roasted.
No, she's not Colombian.
She's Argentinian,
She's Argentinian. Do they?
South America.
Yeah, I know where it is. I've seen a map before.
Oh, have ya?
Yeah, look, Stephanie winning is the right choice.
The question that we need to start discussing now is who is she facing at Clash
Naomi.
in Paris? Is it going to be Naomi? Is it going to be for the WWE Women's title?
Well, she's on Raw, so she goes for the Raw title.
Brand splits these days don't exist, Dan.
with LOL.
We've made the joke so many times. You make the joke more often than I do.
I do. But then, okay, then I guess the question is then who does Naomi face at SummerSlam first?
I think they have to run Rhea and Io back and do a triple threat, like a proper full-length triple threat.
What about Bianca?
That is the only logical step from
What
here.
about Bianca?
Why would Bianca get involved? She's on SmackDown.
Blur hand sprint, LOL.
But this
is you were my
literally
best
throws-
friend.
This throws out SummerSlam predictions out of the window, and I don't know what they're going to do.
I don't know either.
And that's kind of good. And like we've said it so many times, it was like the lead up to WrestleMania 40. Like there were so many matches that we were so hyped for, and we had no idea what was going to happen.
But now,
It's nice to have that feeling.
But
again.
now you're hyped for, you've got to try and get hyped for Stephanie against someone we don't know that she's versing in for 6 weeks' time.
Yeah.
After the biggest pay-per-view. So then what do you do for Stephanie at SummerSlam? Does Stephanie wrestle? Or if you're logical and if you're Stephanie Vaquer, who cut a great promo, obviously English is not her first language,
But wrestling is.
but wrestling is her first language. It's a great line. Well done. Her and Stephanie in the Stephanie McMahon in the ring. If I'm Stephanie Vaquer and I've just won a Battle Royal and I have a guaranteed title shot at Clash in Paris, I'm not stepping in that ring until Clash in Paris.
That's the smart thing to do.
Because what happened to Seth Rollins? Sorry to bring that one back up. But I don't want to get injured.
No.
Right? I don't want to get injured. I don't want to get cashed in on. I don't want to get someone to take me out. No. I now have a guaranteed title shot. I'm number one contender. I'll see you in Paris.
Yeah.
But then you're wasting Stephanie for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So she doesn't go to SummerSlam. But you want your best superstars on your biggest show, especially now that it's 2 nights.
Especially now that we have no Seth Rollins.
So what do you do with Stephanie?
Don't know, dude.
What do you do with Naomi? Who's she versing?
And like that was the thing before this cash in. Like as good as this cash in was, as unexpected as this cash in was, we were thinking, oh, Rhea Stephanie for Clash in Paris,
Yep.
Rhea and Io at SummerSlam, EO, Stephanie at Clash in Paris, like who knows?
Well, we were thinking, I think the way we pitched it was that Rhea would lose somehow, and then we'd run back a triple threat for Rhea to pin the other person, not EO.
Yes.
And then Rhea could face Stephanie at Clash in Paris with EO have lost, but not be pinned by Rhea, so the streak still stays alive.
Yes.
Gone.
Done.
Because I don't think you can have Naomi cash in, win this title the way she has now,
And then drop it
and
3
then
weeks
drop it
later.
at SummerSlam. No.
You can't do that. You can't doggo like that, dude.
I don't think you can. So I'm confused.
It's going to be, and again, like, it's going to be a short turnaround to SummerSlam. We've got 3 weeks to build up the second biggest show of the year, which is now the first ever 2-night SummerSlam.
But we get to see Jelly Roll do a moonsault off the top rope.
Yeah, we get to see RK Roll. I still hate it.
Every
I still
time.
hate it. I still hate it.
What do you call Drew and Logan then?
Alpha males.
The alpha males.
Alpha males.
Oh God, I don't like that either. The prime time.
You watch
hunks?
them do. Oh, primetime hunks, that's pretty good. That's very 80s, though.
Yeah, well, it's prime. Maybe.
The prime. But the prime. But you have to have the pause. Time hunks. Prime. Time hunks. No, we're not turning this into SummerSlam booking. We've already done that, and we've done absolutely poorly at that, given everything that's happened.
Bored in prime time. Do it, Drew. I'll put it on Twitter for you, and you can take it.
Take it. Just give us tickets to Perth in October.
Perth.
I'm going to wrap it up there.
Look, I think that to wrap up the whole event, fantastic women's pay-per-view. It really was.
Needs to happen more often.
There was some dud matches in the middle. Well, duds, but just
You can't have... None of you AEW marks comment on this. You can't have every match be an absolute 5-star banger on a show, okay? There's got to be some dud matches. Like a 6.5 hour all in, okay? It's too long. You shouldn't be happy about that being the longest pay-per-view ever now.
You know, you could have watched.
I could have watched 2 of
Evolution
these in that
twice.
time. I could have watched both Evolutions before All In would finish.
You know, if you watched the pre-show of All In, and
Oh,
then the
don't
All In,
even
just
start
listen.
that, bro.
If you
Oh.
watched the pre-show of All In, and then the All In pay-per-view,
I'm asleep already, bro.
right? You could have watched instead NXT Great American Bash, Saturday Night's main event, and Evolution.
Wow. All 3. Oh, my God.
But to go back to the event and what Triple H did say at the post-match presser was obviously it's great to have women's wrestling this deep on their roster, like you said, that you didn't have to rely on nostalgia acts. You didn't have to rely on Legends pops. It was all women. And we were disappointed to not have those Legends pops. And I don't think the Battle Royal
Suffered.
specifically needed those things,
No.
but I think it would have been better with a few of them just to increase it.
It's
And-
like when they don't do any sort of like legend appearances or surprise appearances in a Royal Rumble. It just feels like a bit of a cop-out, you know?
Yeah, because that's what that match is there for.
Yeah, it's
And
like
we-
everyone always expects them for those sorts
And I
of
think we
matches.
both said the same thing with the Casino Gauntlets for All In too, was that there wasn't, I mean, Juice Robinson was not a great return. Like, So those kind of matches where they are meant to be kept as a surprise, you need to surprise us.
Yeah.
There was no surprise here, and
No.
that was probably the downside to it. But
It's a little unfortunate.
the opening triple threat Intercontinental match was great. The NXT match story and the way that'll go forward will be fun. The tag stuff was actually really, really fun match for all
Yeah.
of them to get spots.
Yeah.
And that main event, I don't know what Meltzer will give it, but to me, that was...
Are we going to get another 5-star women's match?
Look, I don't
Probably
think
not.
It wasn't as good as EO, Bianca, Rhea, and WrestleMania. It was close, but I don't think you could say it was as good a match as that.
I reckon between 4.5.
I would say 4.5 quite comfortably.
But still, that's an amazing rating for a women's
It
match.
depends if you throw in the cash-in, because I think the cash-in and part of the match actually makes it
I'm pretty sure
better.
Dave Meltzer never rates the cash-ins.
I know, he shouldn't. But if you include that portion of it
Like
into
the whole
match,
thing, yeah.
I think that's now 5 stars.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for tuning in. This has been Mr. Dan Danielson. I've been wweraw Reece. We've been talking all things professional wrestling, mainly just women's wrestling today. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time down under the mat. Too sweet. Pow.